Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon as well, if you're joining us from different parts of the world. My name is Sharan Dhaimari. I represent Seed Global Education. And this evening, we have with us two and three rather wonderful people who are going to talk to us a little bit about studying in Singapore, studying at SMU, and also a little bit about AI and a little bit on the topic of this masterclass, which is how to build AI products that actually sell with vibe coding. So we're going to try and figure out how we can turn coding into customers through this masterclass, and we've got a few wonderful people here. Before we start, we have 100 plus of you in this room. Thank you so much for everyone who has showed up. Please let us know in the chat box which city you are joining us from. Hi Ramesh, hi Neeraj. Please let us know which city in India or wherever else you're joining us from. You are joining us from. Neeraj is here from Bhopal, Chennai, Patna, Hyderabad, India. Yes, Delhi, Nagpur. Wonderful. Good evening from Hospet, Haryana, Bhopal, Ghaziabad. I can see a lot of people from the north of India, a lot of people Hyderabad as well. I've seen a couple of times, a lot of people here from Hyderabad, Vijayawada. So north, south, west, east, length and breadth of the country. So thank you so much for everyone who has joined us. It's a day that you have joined maybe after work, after college, and we welcome you. It's also past 10 p.m. in Singapore. So also very thankful to Joshua and Dr. Ro who have spent their evening with us. We will be having some more people also joining in. We're expecting close to 200, 250 of you in this room. And what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to run my first poll question. I have a poll that I'm running, and I request each of you to quickly look at the screen and let us know what describes your current experience with AI product building. Have you done anything so far? Are you currently exploring? Are you experimenting with AI projects? Are you actively building AI products? If some of you are actually actively building products, or if some of you run or work in AI focused companies, that could be good. If you haven't done much in AI, option number one is good, which is exploring, which is what I am doing. I'm not I haven't really built or work in an AI focused company, but I am certainly exploring AI tools on a day-to-day basis to get a lot of interesting things happening. So please check the poll question on your mobile phone, tablets, on your laptops, wherever you are joining us from. It should be flashing on your screen. If it's not flashing on your screen, kindly click on the button that says poll, and you'll be able to access this. Great. I have a lot of you that have submitted. If you haven't yet, I'm waiting for the next 5 more seconds, and that's four and three. And yes, thank you so much. We have quite a few of you that have submitted the poll. I'm going to share the results on the screen for the benefit of our panelists. Close to 70% are like me. We're exploring AI tools. A lot, some of the candidates are also experimenting with AI projects, and about 8% are either actively building products or working in AI focused companies. Thank you so much for everyone who shared their thoughts on this as well. So, 170 plus of us in this very room. What I'm going to do very quickly is introduce you to our speaker. We have Dr. Ro, and I'm adding him to Spotlight. Dr. Ro Sung Jong, thank you so much for taking out time. Dr. Ro is going to talk to us about how to build AI products that sells with vibe coding as well. Dr. Ro is the academic director of the Masters of Science in AI Business, in Business AI rather, at SMU. He has been an assistant professor. He's done his PhD from Cornell, been an assistant professor at SMU, and now is the director of MS in Business AI at SMU's MBAI program. He has a promising and a very extensive CV where he has designed and delivered programs for a lot of corporates. lot of focus on vibe coding as his specialty as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Ro, for taking our time. We also have Joshua Sin. He's going to be talking to us a little later in here. He's the assistant director of admissions at SMU. He's been with the university for a long time, and he also brings over a decade of expertise in MBA and business masters recruitment and he's also been part of SMU for a while. So if you have questions about studying in Singapore, or if you're just exploring, thinking about studying in Singapore, or thinking about SMU, he is the best person from this panel to talk to you guys about. Great. So less of me. Over to you, Dr. Rowe. Dr. Rowe has a 30-minute masterclass that he's going to be talking about this wonderful topic that we have. Dr. Rowe, over to you.
All right. Well, thank you for a great introduction. So we will start our master class. So it's great meeting you guys all via our this online master class. My name is Song Jong Ro. So as you could infer from my name, I'm Korean. I was born in South Korea, Seoul, South Korea, and I study in the States. So basically, I speak two human languages. I speak Korean and I can speak English. But when it comes to computational languages, I'm multilingual. I can speak C++, Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, Rust, R, you can name it. I speak 12 computational languages. And then if somebody asks me what is my kind of a main language for my work, it is a mathematics. So you have a very interesting kind of college professor, business school professor in front of you who's running kind of a science and math and the computation in business school. So given my areas of expertise, what I do in our business school, we are building our new master's program in Master of Science in Business AI, and I'm serving as academic director for our new master's program. Today, what I will do with you is a kind of a teaser masterclass. Many of you perhaps are curious more about the vibe coding, but before you build something with the vibe coding, you have to think about a few things to make your products valuable. So that is the thing that I will talk about today in our session. So I'm going to start share my screen, and then let me see if it is working first. Hold on. Let me start share. Hold on. I think that this might work. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? If that is the case,
Yes.
would you be able to,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's great. Excellent. So you're all able to see the screen. So I will move forward then. So today I will talk about how to build AI products that sell with vibe coding. Because we only have a 30 minutes today, um, perhaps this will serve as a part one for kind of a, hopefully we can have a part two with you for masterclass. And then this is where I will focus on how to build AI products that sell. And then in part two, I will show you, we will have a more hands-on session. I hope that we can have a double time of the 30 minutes so that we can have about an hour that we can build AI products together in real time. But for today, we will focus on what are the essential steps of your kind of a business process and thinking that you need to have, and then how you can strategize your AI product launch so that you can ultimately sell to the market. So that's what I will focus on. So our first thing that we will talk about today is we will see um, first about the AI product opportunity. So how we can use the vibe coding, and then we can effectively build AI products. And then in order to identify the AI product opportunity, in order to capture that opportunity, that becomes possible with this technological advancement and then AI augmented capabilities that we are seeing in the field. We need to understand about three economic curves. I'm going to talk about three functions that you need to know so that you can be successful. It's kind of an essential managerial economics kind of a functions that help you to think about assessment of your AI products while you are building your products. And then I initially thinking about the hands-on, like you are building things with a vibe coding. But like I said, that might be our part two. And then today, we will mainly focus on what are the things that you have to think about when you're building AI products. And then in the end, I will talk about some of the wrap up and the next steps. I will discuss about our Master of Science in Business AI. And then I will take any of the questions, and our Joshua will take the questions from you, and then we will answer to your queries. Um, we'll start thinking about AI product opportunity. The major things that you are seeing in the field right now, the cost of building software just dropped to near zero. So we don't need to think about kind of a cost when it comes to building for the sake of building. So one of the things that you will see in the real world labor market, jobs that help you to execute for the sake of execution won't be human in the loop jobs anymore, but instead that will be replaced with the artificial intelligence, and then in particular, agentic AI systems. So we are not focusing on that anymore, but instead we are focusing on something else. The reason why is that is if you look at most viable, minimum viable products, when it comes to developments of the minimum viable products, the cost is now reduced. About 97% of the cost are reduced to build minimum viable products. I will talk about what is the meaning of minimum viable products. In short, we call this MVP in the field. And then we have a substantial reduction of the cost. And then we have a 10 times faster time to first prototype. In fact, the initial plan for masterclass, if we have that kind of a 90 minutes instead of 30 minutes, I was thinking about after this 30-minute conversation, we have a 1 hour that we can experience from building to shipping. And then we can do that within just a 1 hour. 1 hour is a sufficient time for us to build the product and then ship the products. So it's a 10 times faster right now on average for your first prototyping. And then if you think about the cost standpoint, for these reasons, we have a substantial reduction of the kind of monetary resources and the time constraints. We don't need to worry about them much. So now this is the time, interestingly and intriguingly, it is not about the era of technical skill. It is the era that you need to have both technical skill, AI fluency, as well as and business acumen. We need to have a business acumen to build your meaningful products. So it's not about the building for the sake of building anymore. It's about what to build for an impact. We have to think about how to build a product that can deliver the impact. So what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is a new paradigm of your interaction with the machine. In the past, if you wanted to interact with your machine, if you wanted to achieve human-machine interaction successfully, if you come to our SMU Business School, in the past, across the different master's program, you are able to see me wherever you learn about the computational proficiency and the computational languages. For example, we have a master's of quantitative finance where you learn before anything else from me about financial engineering with a Python programming, how to build and write your Python code to hack the financial market. But right now, essentially, if you wanted to work as a quant in the field, it is not about the programming proficiency anymore. It requires something else that is needed. That's what I will talk about. What about the Masters of Applied Finance? If you go to Masters of Applied Finance, you will also see me in the master's program in our business school, where you can learn about introduction to data science for finance, and then also econometrics class. And then what matters more now is not about the, again, Python programming. It is not. So when you interact with a machine, we need to build your capability on something else. It's not about the computational languages because with the vibe coding, you can interact with your machine in your human natural language. And then your interaction with the natural language can be translated into machine language. And then you can directly interact with your machine by speaking in natural language. So now you have a different kind of a focus. You need to have a focus on the value of your product, and then you need to think about the user and the clients and the stakeholders of your products. And then you have the deeper understanding about the market. Yes, you still need to have an expertise and experience on AI tools like a Cursor, Replit, Bolt, Cloud, Lovable. And then you will learn all those things. You will need to have that proficiency. However, when it comes to computational language itself, it is not about the traditional coding. Now we are living in the world of vibe coding. So what matters now after life after vibe coding? What matters more here is about understanding what customers want, what your stakeholders want, and then you have to understand about the pricing and positioning your product in the market. You have to strategize your product launch. And then you need to know when you hit product market fit. In short, we call this PMF. You have to understand how to hit PMF, product market fit. And then you need to have your growth strategy and then how to secure user retention. You are able to see again, as I highlighted just now, I'm the one who have been giving all these technical courses in our business school across the suite of the business school master's program. In Master's Quant Finance, there's a computational finance class that I give. And then when you come to Master's of Applied Finance, there is a data science course that you can learn about the data science for finance with also computational programming. What about our MBA program? I'm the one who has been giving machine learning courses where you build actual architecture of machine learning. But like I said, I'm the one who has given all those courses of computational programming and the coding in our business school. Now I'm telling you with my own language, uh, it is not about coding anymore. It is about how to translate tech capabilities and AI augmented capabilities that is available now that you can interact with your own natural language, how you can translate the capacity to business outcomes. You have to understand how to translate tech capabilities into impact. So I will talk about something that is essential from that angle, that is something known as a jobs to be done. You have to understand what kinds of job is the user of your AI products hiring to do. So you have to understand what are the jobs, what job is your user hiring your AI product to do. So let me give you one example of that. So I have this fountain pen in front of me. So usually when you think about any kinds of business school class, the very first thing that you learn is something known as a value proposition. So now let's think about the value proposition of the fountain pen. The usual value proposition of the fountain pen goes like this. This fountain pen instrument, writing instrument, has some unique selling points. That value proposition is durability. You don't need to have a second and third fountain pen because if you have a one pen, you can continuously write things with this writing instrument. As long as you have an ink, this has a durability. This is not just for your lifetime. Your next generation, your kids' kids might be able to use it as well. But there's a problem now. If you are thinking about value proposition from the standpoint of your product itself, just like many of you are focusing on when you're building your AI products. Well, when we see each other next time around, when you see that you can build your AI products in front of you using your fingertips, you might be fascinated by that, the fact that you can build your products. And then you keep thinking about your products. What is unique about your products? but that won't successfully grow your business because if you are selling fountain pen with a value proposition of durability, you will find the problem right away for scalability. How are you going to sell then second fountain pen and the third fountain pen to your customer? Because you sold your fountain pen based on value proposition of the durability, your customer might ask you this way. Oh, you're saying that this pen has a durability. Why do we need to buy the second fountain pen, right? So how we can answer to that question? So we have to shift our angle. You should not think about your product is ends. Your product is actually means. When you are building your AI products, we have to shift the perspective. We have to think about what are the problems that your AI products will solve for your customer. So let me give you how this Mont Blanc fountain pen is continuously be sold to myself. So they are approaching me, oh, Prof. Ro, given your profession, you will probably use writing instrument many of the occasion. But guess what? They never sell the fountain pen based on conventional value proposition. If you wanted to grow your business, you have to think about how this product will solve the problem of your user. So they approach me this way. Oh, Prof. Ro, when we see you, we are able to see a collector and then they sold this fountain pen. Oh, Pro, this is a Little Prince edition, limited edition of the fountain pen. There are limited number of these pieces of fountain pen is available in the world, and then you might want to have it because you're a collector. And then I bought it. And then afterwards, there are a series of the sales based on this value proposition that is not about the product focus, but about understanding the nature of your user. What kinds of problem that your product ultimately solve. And then they approach me, well, Prof. Ro, this time we have an Enzo Ferrari limited edition. We have a JFK limited edition. There are not that many pieces available, but given your collection, you might want to have this. Jesus Christ, how many fountain pens I bought? So this is how you're supposed to think about your AI products. One of the common problems that we often see nowadays about the learning about the AI, we tend to have just a myopic understanding about what AI, learning about AI is about. AI products has to solve a job better than any alternatives. It is not about the product itself. Many people are able to build because as you see, as you will experience with myself, part two, when you start building your AI products, building for the sake of building is not a problem anymore. Anyone can build anything, but there are few people in this world can build something that change the world and then the build something that can sell in a scalable manner. So we wanted to achieve that. Then how we can achieve it? We have to understand the framework that is a jobs to be done. When you are thinking about your AI users, the product users, you have to think about when your user under particular circumstance, they wanted to achieve something. So that's the reason why they are using your AI products. AI product itself is not the ends. Your AI product is a means of problem solving. That is the thing that you have to learn before anything else. When you are thinking about draft emails faster, that jobs, you can use Gmail's smart compose function. And then it solves the problems of the functional jobs. It makes you write email faster. And then if you are thinking about Zoom AI backgrounds, it helps you to work on the professional settings of the meetings. It helps you to address the jobs when you are dealing with your social settings of your work. And then it gives you confidence uh, when you are making decisions, when you have AI analytics dashboard. That is the kind of emotional job that address your anxiety. So these are the kind of examples that you have to fundamentally shift your angle. It's not about AI product that is the end goal. Anyone can build anything with the vibe coding, but there are few people who are able to generate the value with their products. That's what we wanted to learn. So we have to think about this concept that is known as minimum viable products. The minimum viable products is the product that you wanted to build as quickly as possible with artificial intelligence. What is the product that we wanted to build with the vibe coding? We wanted to make minimum viable products as quickly as possible. And then, in fact, like I said, 1 hour, we have a sufficient time to build minimum viable product. But the thing is, in order to think about the minimum viable product building, we have to understand what is then not a minimum viable product, and then how not to build a minimum viable product. There are some mistaken understanding about how to build AI products. One common mistaken understanding is building incomplete parts of your products that nobody can use in the first place. You should not build each segment of products that people, your user, cannot use. And then later you are dreaming, oh, let me assemble all these parts of the products so that I can make something great. This is not how you're supposed to engage in vibe coding in building your AI products. It is not helpful to think about each of the segment that people cannot use at a moment. That is not the way to go. It is not also a good idea that you are thinking about building completely different products each time. This time I will build a product A. This time I will build a product B that is categorically different. Instead, the way that you build minimum viable product, you have to build simplest product as possible, as simple as possible, and then you are building with each of your task, make a different versioning of the product that create incremental advancement to solve your user's problem that you wish to solve. So if you are thinking about minimum viable product, when you are thinking about the car as your ultimate product that you envision, what you can do with the vibe coding, you simply start to build something that help people to solve the problem, the ultimate problem that you wanted to solve with AI products. Like I said, it is not about car. That is not the ends. What is the thing that your people in the market purchase when they interact with AI product? Your product is not the ends. Your product is a means. So we have to think about how to make people get from A to B. Then you can think about the minimum viable product much more easily. And then after you build it like a skateboard, you can improve it with a scooter, you can improve it with a bicycle, you can improve it with a motorcycle, you can improve it with a car. This is the exact steps of work that you will take when you build product, AI empowered, AI augmented product with me in the vibe coding. So you will see that starting from the minimalistic viable product, and then that will ultimately solve the product of the market. You can do this as quickly as possible, and then you can run this in each of our processes, and then you will be able to improve it much better. Now then, when you are thinking about minimum viable products, what are the things that we need to know from the managerial economics standpoint so that we can have successful AI products that we can build and develop that will bring the impact in the market? The first consideration is a demand curve. The meaning of the demand curve here is something that you have perhaps learned from your microeconomics class. This is a very important lesson that will help you to understand the relationship between the price and demand. It's a simple function, but has an elegance. So demand curve simply tells you the your price goes up, quantity that is demanded goes down. So there's a relationship between the price and the demand. And then if your price goes up, the demand goes down. So what it means here, you need to find optimal price relative to your competitor so that you can identify where will be the price that will give you optimal your customer and user base. So you have to think about whether the price too high, price too low, and then where is your optimal price point. Remember, demand is an inverse function of the price. Obviously, there's elasticity. If you are buying the products from the RMS, well, the slope will be less steeper. But if you are thinking about many of the AI products, it is essential that you think about the demand curve. The freemium, tiered pricing, and the usage-based models, you can use this. The reason why we are using this, the reason why we wanted to learn this and use this is because there is this demand curve. We have known relationship between the price and the demand and the preferences. We have to aware of it. So how we can then, get ahead of the demand curve? You can apply this to AI product settings. If you are thinking about ChatGPT, free to plus, you can think about OpenAI API per token. You can think about Notion AI's add-on. What is the thing that it does? What it does is ultimately, in the case of ChatGPT free account usage, and then make them to become plus user, this is where you wanted to reduce the barrier. Because by awareing the demand curve, you aware that if the price is given, then it is very difficult for people to adopt it. So you wanted to set the lower barrier, and then you wanted to lower the barrier, and then you build high conversion funnel from there. This is what we call freemium strategies. And then when you think about the OpenAI's API per token strategies, what it does, it basically scales with the value delivered. So it's kind of a usage-based pricing model. So rather than giving identical price tag of your products per usage, you assign the price based on per usage. And then you can also think about tiered pricing. So this is where you can improve the upsells, and then you can find this just like a Notion AI add-on. You have an add-on feature of your tech products, and then that will help you to drive the upsells. Demand curve tells you exactly how much you can change. And then I want to talk about one more important thing. If you wanted to truly make the growth in the AI augmented business world, I want you to fundamentally change your perspective about what you do. Well, I understand that India, just like my hometown, Seoul, South Korea, and then just like the town where I currently work, Singapore. So South Korea, India, and Singapore, there are similarities. From my students from the past, I could tell there are similarities. That is, we are living in high competition, competition after competition. When I look back my life, it was all about the competition thus far. But I want to say this. What is the thing that demand curve tells you? When price goes up, demand goes down. Demand is an inverse function of your price. It means that if you have more and more competition in your field, in your AI products, your revenue and the profit margin will become more and more independent from each other. So, what is the lesson point? Here's the lesson points. If you are learning things from our program, what I want to tell you, what I want to share with you, what you need to learn as a strategic thinker in business, if you wanted to achieve the growth, don't try to be the best one in the market, but instead, I want you to be the only one. Rather than putting yourself into the competition amongst the competitors in the AI products, I want you to build something based on your understanding of the jobs to be done. I want you to build something that is the only one in the market. Why that is the effective growth strategies? Because if you are competing more and more, your profit margin will be shrinked and shrinked, regardless of your revenue, because you have losing pricing power. Now, let's take a look at second functions of manager economics essential for your AI product development. I will talk about diffusion curve. What is the diffusion curve? You will find the diffusion of your products will usually follow this function. As time goes by, in early stage, you will find the situation your product is not taken by many of the users. Only innovators in the market might be able to start using your products. And then later, you have early adopters stage. Still, when you have early adopters of your products, you won't be able to have inflection point of your AI products. It will follow this S curve. After this point, your products will take off. And then this is where you will have a massive adoption that is waiting for you. But I want you to remember this. Important lesson point of this function, if you are thinking that you will forever will grow because you are in this stage after inflection point, it seems that you will experience and entertain the growth forever. Well, that is a trap and illusion. And then I oftentimes that this is the point where many of the entrepreneur with the AI products losing out because they simply miss the opportunity, the time frame and the window for exit because they are thinking they will be able to continuously grow. So when you are thinking about this diffusion curve, you have to aware that it will take some time to take off. So during the stage, how you will be able to approach the market with the different strategies. I want you to start thinking ahead when you are building your AI products. Again, why we are talking about this, why we are learning this in the first place, building is not costly anymore. If you are telling the people, oh, yesterday I built something, well, when everyone knows what everyone knows, there is nothing new. There's no value. When everyone knows what everyone knows, there's no business value. If everyone can build, building itself is not the value that generates the value. What you need to think about is what to build. And then when you think about the what to build, along the way of this diffusion curve that you can foresee because of your understanding about business acumen, now you can have some strategies and market research. You can build market intelligence along the way. In each stage, launch stage, traction stage, scale stage, you have to invest in different things. Are you going to invest in product hunt? It is the launching stage. And then if you look at case studies, influencer partnerships, when you start thinking about the liver loops, this is the traction stage. And then if you are thinking about search engine optimization and the content marketing, if you think about enterprise sales, this is where in the stage of early scale up. So you have to identify where on the S curve is your product. And then you have to use the right growth lever because in the market, you have to aware your revenue and the profit margin, they are often independent from each other. If you want it to be successful in AI augmented business world, you have to have strong expertise in understanding about managerial economic functions like a diffusion curve because it will tell you what is the right things to do, where you have to allocate your resources for strategies. Now we are talking about the final functions out of three managerial economics functions that help you to build AI product that sells. That is retention curve. And I want you to remember about 70%, 40%, 20% rule. And then it will give you benchmark for your product market fit. So what is the meaning of the retention curve? No matter how much your product initially successful in the market, sooner or later, you will realize that the product will experience attrition. So relative to initial user base, over time, you will find the retention rate will be continuously go down. And then usually it tends to follow this hyperbolic discounting function that you are seeing. And then what is this meaning of it? Well, if you find this kind of a curve of the retention curve, if you find that this curve become flattens above 20%, it means that you achieve something that we call product market fit. You have product market fit that is achieved, which means your AI product that you build is a something that people need. You achieve jobs to be done. You addressed jobs to be done to some extent. That is the meaning of 20%. You have flattened portion of the curve that you can find is about the 20% retention of your user. Well, it's a great news. It is very difficult to achieve. Then what is the meaning of the 40% and the 70%? Here's the meaning of it. You perhaps heard about in the field, in tech market, unicorn company that is known as a unicorn, that is the company that achieve 40%, which is the retention curve become flat and then retention curve flattens around the 40%. That is the unicorn. What is the 70%? Companies that change the world, like a Google, like a Meta. This is where you have 70%, where your user retention rate flattens around the 70%. So here's the meaning of it. If you have your retention curve stays in the 20%, then that is good sign. You have a green light. This is where you have strong product market fit. Well, if you find that about 3 months later, you have a 10 to 20%, then this is where you can iterate on your core loop. And then if you find that about 5% and you flatten the curve in 5%, then sooner or later, you won't have a user. So your product market fit is very poor. Unfortunately, you built something, but this is not something that you can maintain for your business. It's time to say goodbye and build something else. Now, here's some real world retention benchmark. If you are looking at WhatsApp, after 3 months later, still the retention rate flattens around 45%. That's the reason why WhatsApp is an essential utility. ChatGPT, around 28%. It's a strong product market fit is there. Mobile application, majority of them. Well, look at your smartphone. Here's my smartphone. And then sometimes you download the application. Afterwards, what is happening? You don't even want to bother to remove your application. We don't touch it at all. So this is where you have a poor product market fit. We can build anything in any given day within shorter period of time. But if you are not thinking about this, what is the purpose of building itself? Oh, professor, we had a fun. Well, you should not think about that way because in our business and in our life as well, the most important asset for you and for company is not capital, it's a time. So you wasted your time. So you should not waste your time in building things. You have to build something that sells using AI augmented capability. So I'm going to put all things together, the three functions and the three curves that I have shared with you. We started from the demand curve. Demand curve is when you think about the demand and the preference in the market of your AI product is a inverse function of price. If the price goes up, demand goes down. One of the important lesson, yes, we need to find the optimal price for your product, and then we need to have some pricing strategies. However, ultimately, it tells you if you are doing something with the AI augmented capability, it is not ideal to think about competition. Rather than thinking about the competition after competition, rather than thinking about I'm going to make a best AI products for certain competition. No, your goal is not about being the best one. Your goal has to be building the only one. And then now let's take a look at the diffusion curve. The diffusion curve, it helps you to grow your business and then grow your AI product and the strategy smart. So what you can do here, your strategy has to be aligned with your growth stage. So with S curve shape, you have to think about it won't give you after inflection point, it won't give you continuous growth. You will find a plateau. So you have to think about how to build your strategies aligned with your growth stage, diffusion stage. And then now we look at retention curve. Retention curve give you assessment whether your AI products for your business in your business successfully achieve product market fit. If your users, your retention curve flattens around 20%, then you achieve the product market fit. Pretty much all the product in the market fail. Many people build anything every single day. Now think about the cost of the building AI product. It becomes substantially reduced. Because of that, there are so many products out there. You have to think carefully about the product market fit, whether you achieve jobs to be done so that you can make your AI product that has retention curve flattens above 20%. So after this, I wanted to build something with you. And then here's some sort of, I'm going to give you some demo sessions and then afterwards give you how you can start with the building, how you can shipping, how you can deal with the front end, the back end, how we can think about the MCP even, model context protocol in artificial intelligence. But for today, we just have a teaser. And then next time round, right? Stay tuned. We'll have the opportunity to do this. Or it could be the case that you come to SMU and then you learn these things under my guidance. Looking forward. So I'll
Thank you
be
for
moving, yeah, I'll be moving to the things that we discussed quickly, and then I will leave this our session to our Joshua to talk about the next subject. Oh, by the way, are we on still time or am I
uh,
overrunning?
we
It's about right?
overrun. Yeah.
Overrun a little bit? Okay. So here's a okay, so I was into so much about this. So I think that I lost the track of time. So we discussed about this kind of ideation. We identify the problem, what is the jobs to be done, and then using the five code, we achieve the minimum viable product as quickly as possible. And then we use the demand curve, set the price, and build the strategies for pricing. And then we launch the product. We think about the diffusion curve, and then we measure the retention rate. And then that is the kind of a stage. So what I wanted to say here is the Master of Science in Business AI um, at SMU, this is our new master's program, is not just merely cultivating AI engineer. Well, it is not about AI engineering that will fundamentally change the world. It's about the leader who has a business acumen and then learn about how the business operates cross business function. So, and then you can show the AI augmented capabilities to the C-suite, or you become the leader in AI product world. Um, well, I hope that this a quick kind of a 30-minute master class help you to understand about what are the things that you wanted to think about when you are building AI products that sells. When you are building something, there's no reason that will sell. We have to build something that will sell with our strategy. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So once again, thank you for your attention for the talk. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was, Dr. Thank you so much for this very, very insightful session. And we have a whole host of questions here that have come in. Also, you got some questions in the chat. Some of them have not been redirected into the Q&A. But thank you so much for doing this, especially at this hour of the evening. We have Joshua now who's going to talk to us a little bit about SMU. And then just a quick reminder to the 198 room. If you have any questions for Joshua about SMU, about Singapore, about the studying landscape in Singapore, please use the Q&A tab to ask those questions. If you have any AI and topic related questions, please use the Q&A tab and we'll redirect them to Dr. Rowe in due course. Joshua, over to you.
Okay, great. I hope you can see my screen. Prof has done a very good teaser. I hope you're excited about what you learned in the MBAI program here at SMU. But just a quick one about Singapore Management University were established in the year 2000 in partnership with Wharton School, so University of Pennsylvania. The Lee Kong Chian School of Business is actually the flagship school of SMU and also the largest business school in Singapore. So since 2004, where we graduated our first students, we have built up a vast network of business connections across Singapore and the region. So we are located, as you can see, in the heart of the city. All right, and that means we have access to the 3,000 different MNCs that's based in Singapore, with a further 4,000 or so that have presence here in Singapore. If you've been to Singapore, you see Marina Bay, City Hall, Suntec City. You come from Changi Airport, usually Jewel, and then you would have access to the different parts of Singapore. Singapore is really, really small, about 700 square kilometers. We have a population of 6 million people. Out of that, one third of them are non-Singaporeans, non-permanent residents. So there is actually a lot of opportunities still in Singapore. As you can see, the Lee Kong Chian School of Business is also the only Triple Crown accredited business school from Singapore. So we're accredited with ACSB, AMBA, and AQUIS, and that means global recognition. In terms of rankings, we have been doing very well consistently across our MBA programs, our finance programs, and our management programs. So as you can see, Prof has also shared that he's taught in the quantitative finance, the applied finance, the MBA program, and now he's the MBAI academic director. What's so different about Singapore Management University? It really is about the interaction seminar style learning. You will have to learn from your peers, so we have to curate diverse class of candidates of different experience, background, and culture, as well as their academic and professional background. When you come into class, there's a lot of peer learning. So you learn from one another as much as you learn from your facilitators, your faculty members. There's going to be a lot of focus also on participation in classroom discussion. So you cannot keep quiet in class. It's not a traditional Asian university where you have to sit, listen, do your work, and then, go for exams. Every part of your studies will be assessed. You'll be also working very hard on your soft skills, your communication, your leadership, and teamwork. Now, the Masters of Science in Business AI is really about AI-powered business impact. Why did we come up with this program? It really is because there is a demand for business intelligence role. If you look at how we are differently positioned, we have a 50-50 blend of business and AI in our curriculum. All right. So we are building candidates for decision translators. And for the SMU Advantage, really, we have about 8 different schools bringing across thought leadership in technology, in business management. And this would be a 12 months full-time program. You do have to come in on a student visa. Throughout the 12 months, you will have 3 dedicated AI capacity building modules. And Prof has communicated very clearly that this is to ensure throughout the course of your program of 12 months, you have updated knowledge, curriculum, and experience. All right. And the 6 core modules will deal with the different business domains. You can also go for internships, SMU projects, and capstone projects. Above all, career is going to be very important. So we do have a complete unit of postgraduate professional development workshops catered just for you. You have access to your own career coach, and career coaching is for lifelong, right? For alumni. These are some of the preeminent faculty that we have on our MBAI program as well. You can see they come from very different disciplines to bring together a cohesive approach to business AI. All right. So this is what we do for career development and coaching. And we are really hoping to groom a new breed of professionals for the industry. This is what the industry needs right now. And across all our programs, our master's programs, you'll see the same. It's all about preparing candidates for industry-facing roles. I will share with you the admissions process very quickly as well. These are some of the things that we want to see from you. The SMU test, the GMAT or the GRE, your updated resume. For Indian candidates, fortunately, you do not have to do the IELTS or TOEFL because you would have done your undergraduate studies in English. Everything else can be found online. We do have a strong support country manager in India who will also be able to walk you through. After this session, we'll be in touch with you. If you're really interested in this program, you want to find out more. Unfortunately, there's not too much time we have left. So we'll listen to your questions and answers. And thereafter, we will do a follow-up with you as well. Okay, so that's all I have for you this evening. And we'll move on to the Q&A, I think.
Thank you so much, Joshua. That was a nice elevator pitch about SMU and about studying in Singapore. And just a reminder to the 171 of you still in this room, if you have any questions, we have the next 10 to 15 minutes with Joshua and Professor Dr. Rowe to talk a little bit about these kind of questions. My first question to you, for the audience, if you're going through the Q&A tab, you have also have an option of upvoting the questions, right? Which means if you upvote the questions, I'm going to ask the most upvoted questions first in terms of priority, so that should certainly help. Dr. Roth, there's a question about if you don't have a coding background, for example, me as well, I don't have a coding background. How long does it realistically take to build something, functional using vibe coding? We know, I use Claude to create like a landing page or to create an app, which can happen maybe in a matter of hours. Could you throw some light on, in today's day and age, without coding, how can you build something?
Yeah. So thank you for the great question. So within our MBAI program, MBAI program curriculum, in the first semester, you will learn a course, one of the AI capacity building module titled Human AI Collaboration. By the time you start, and then that is a 10 weeks course with a 1 week that is a recess week. So you have 11 weeks of learning, and then there's a 12th week you have an exam, right? By the time you complete your learning in the first semester from that particular module itself, you will be able to experience from building of the AI augmented products and then shipping of your products. So that is the thing that we plan. And then I'll be the one who offer that module to our candidates of the program. And then even if you don't have a background in computational languages, I will help you. In fact, any of the other master's program that we have in our SMU master's program, usually the one who teach you how to write the computational languages for coding, programming, and then quantitative problem solving, it was me. And then I'm telling you that you are able to learn it with a good instruction. Your focused training within 1 semester, you will be able to master all the essentials. And then we will build more because this is a 1 year full-time program. You will start from zero, nothing to worry about. We will make you fly. So this is where you wanted to be one, starting from zero. And then we are not expecting you are AI engineer from the beginning. You will build your AI fluency. But the focal point of our learning is not about just the building fluency and expertise on AI for the sake of building. We wanted to bring the impact based on your AI fluency. That is the focal point of our learning in the program.
Thank you so much for that answer, Dr. Rowan. And that's quite encouraging to know that this program would certainly help for non-coders like me to actually build something. Joshua, there's a question which is around undergraduate CGPA or performance that matters during admission. And I'm going to try and widen that question because admission directors usually come up and talk about we recruit candidates looking at the holistic process of admission. Could you throw some light on what is the definition of holistic? And if my undergraduate scores were not great, do I still have a chance of getting into SMU?
Right, great question. Holistic assessment means exactly that we look at the wide variety of documentary evidence that you provide, as well as your interview scores, your test scores. So, for example, in this case, where you say your CGPA is not well, firstly, where did you graduate from? I think that would be important. What kind of degree you graduate with? That will also give us an assessment of why you may not have done well. In your personal essays, you can put that in as well. It could be a health issue, could be a mental issue. I think we're holistically assessing you. Have you gotten better? Has your grades, towards the end of your studies also gotten better? But if not, why? Write it down, tell us your story. I think that's important. Ultimately, you did show that you graduated from an university degree, right? With a bachelor's degree, right? So what have you done since the bachelor's degree? Have you embarked on a role that is competitive professionally? Have you been able to show your achievements and your progression in your career? So that's where the holistic assessment comes in. It's more than just your grades. Obviously, grades make up a big part of that because we need you to go through academic rigor. So we want to make sure that you're able to take on the programs, the curriculum that we have here, the entire experience. So where does that come from? We'll look at your test scores. So if your CGPA is not too good, do well in your tests. You do your best in your GMAT, your GRE, and even the SME admissions test. Right? So this is what we call a holistic assessment. Happy to talk more if you really want, but we'll take it at a personal level.
Thanks so much for that, Joshua. There's another question which has the most upvoted right now about fees of studying in Singapore. Could you, obviously, to all the 165 people listening and people listening on YouTube as well, every university will have different fees. Every program within SMU will have different fees. So I encourage you to look at the website to see what the exact fees are. But slightly widen that question, Joshua, in comparison to some of the North American or European universities, how does Singapore how does Singapore and SMU fare in the fees perspective, cost of living and cost of attendance? Could you throw some light on how does Singapore compare with some of these geographies?
Yeah. Sure. Thanks for the question again. So now our program fees are at 59,500 Singapore dollars for our Masters of Science programs across the board, mostly. We do offer different categories of scholarship with different tiers from 5,000 all the way to 15,000. So that covers about 25% in total of your tuition fees. Now, if you are working as an intern, as a student helper in Singapore, that goes to about 1,002 or 1,005 on average a month. That helps to cover some of your living expenses. I do have a slide, and I think it'll be interesting for you to see. Right now, sorry, I think is there something in the middle? No? Okay, let me remove it. Right.
That's fine.
So if you look, yeah, good, right. So you can see across the board in terms of rent and all that, and I think this comes up very often, right, when you're considering the cost of living in Singapore. Yes, it's expensive, but it's not that bad. As a developed country, I think we rank amongst or one of the most affordable cities. And if you look at a global context, I think this is a place, a city you want to be in, just because it's stable, it's safe. The policies from the government, I would say, are sound, right? And there's still a lot of opportunities for development and professional growth. So how do you do that? Studying is one great step towards securing a career here in Singapore. But if not, you would have the Singapore brand with you as well. All right.
Yep. Thank you so much for that, Joshua. In terms of Professor, I think there were some questions about some of the tools, right, that you recommend candidates or working professionals, students that you use. Do you a lot of things go on social media about, hey, if you want to make a presentation, this is a good tool. If you want to build a product, this is a good tool. If you want to write an email, this is a good tool. Could you, with your experience, could you throw some light on what are some of the tools that you personally favor and you also recommend it to prospective students?
Okay, I appreciate this question. During your study in the Master of Science in Business AI, our MBAI program, you will learn as low as as small as a 50 and then as high as many as about 60, somewhere in between, you will be able to build your capacity to use these AI tools. So there are many of the AI tools that you will learn along the way. But the best AI tools that you can use right now for your day-to-day operation, that is Anthropic's product, Cloud Cowork, is giving you excellent performance. And then you also have many of the tools like a Google AI Studio and then Firebase Studio that give you an experience from A to Z experience of the front end, back end, and then you are able to building the connection between the front end, the back end developments easily within the tools. So many of the products that is out there, but ultimately it's depending on your choice. But the Cloud Cowork from Anthropic is useful. And then you also have Google's Firebase Studio, Google AI Studio that serve as a platform that you can use holistic AI products within that. You can use the Cloud Code, you can use the OpenAI's codex. Within that, Google's Firebase Studio and Google AI Studio so that you can leverage on all these different AI tools for vibe coding for building your own products. Well, the ultimate answer you will be able to learn when you come to our program because I will give you the lesson. One more thing to share with you. When you join our program, because our program is a pretty serious, and like I said, my language is mathematics, and then basically, I usually write the code faster than I speak. When you come to my class, that's usually what you find. Uh, but the thing is, in our program, everyone who join our master's program during your study of 1 year, you will be able to access Cloud Max for free because that will
Okay.
be given to you. The reason why we are giving this to you is because from day one, actually from day zero, during the orientation, when you see me, um, we will build something together. But we will build not just for the sake of building. We will learn how to build to make something meaningful and impactful. At the end of the day, we wanted to bring the impact to AI augmented capacity.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And it being very honest, Dr. Rowe, it makes me excited now to leave what I'm doing and to consider doing this MBAI program at
Aaron,
SMU.
you are welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rowe. There's a question that I also had, and just for Joshua to answer, as well. Are there any scope for application fee waivers, scholarships for some of these programs, including the MBA?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, like I've mentioned, we typically cover a lot of our candidates based on merit with scholarships that go up to about 25 to close to 30% of the tuition fee. It depends, obviously, on when you apply. Admissions are on a rolling basis, for example, so scholarships are the same as well. For application fee waiver, talk to us. Send us your resume for a pre-application assessment. We have, like I say, our country manager in India, and she is a great help. She will be able to assess your profiles and feed you into the right programs. Yeah, so reach out to us.
Wonderful. Great. I think we are more than 8 minutes than scheduled. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Joshua and Dr. Rowe. A very, very insightful session, Dr. Rowe. A lot of things, new to learn for so many of us. Before I let you both go, any, final comments you'd like to share? Dr.
Yeah,
Rowe?
I
Yes.
look at carefully of all of our participants. There are 17 open questions still out there. So while I was listening to you, I look at carefully of these questions, and there's a one question that I like to answer.
Sure.
There's a question from our Kanishika Yadav, our one of our participants here. Thank you for the question. Uh, the question was this: I'm not a developer and never will be. Will companies still take me seriously as an AI leader? I think that the question is about when you are joining MBAI program and then you are not still being a developer afterwards, can still you can play a role in AI augmented business. Here's my answer. You don't have to be a developer. But the thing is, by the time you graduate, you will have a portfolio of AI products. Because during our study, you will build something, every your project in the AI capacity building module, and then your capstone, it will make you build something using AI augmented capability. So you will have a portfolio. The things that you need to have in the current labor market, you cannot just show you graduate from some school. It won't change the thing. The ultimate thing is what is the thing that you can do with the AI augmented capability, and then how you can show the work that you do with AI is not mere rhetorical device, but it show the capacity of revenue stream generation, contribution to the profit margin, and protect your company from the potential risk to the C-suite. And that we wanted to give you that portfolio along the way of your study so that you can be seen in the market, you can be assessed in the market as someone who can contribute in AI augmented business. I hope that I answered your query. And then once again, it's been a great pleasure to be able to have this session with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Rowe. Thank you so much, Joshua, for this as well. Um, it's been a great 1 hour, 40 plus minutes that we've spent. Thank you so much. SMU is a wonderful, like university, very close to home, since a lot of you are from here, from India, compared to volatility in the US, lack of growth scope in Europe. I think Singapore offers a great destination to pursue your business masters or an MBA or an MBAI program as well, which is in today's day and age more of a requirement than a specialization, if I'd like to call it. Thank you so much once again, Joshua. Thank you so much, Dr. Rowe. Thank you so much to the 150 of you still in this room. It's been a pleasure hosting. It's also late night in Singapore. So thank you so much for doing this, and have a nice rest of the evening to everyone. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everyone.